Welcome back to Artsy and Hexels with your host, Cubeloon. I've had a hectic couple of days. I I hope it hasn't shown other than in the art I've posted. Uh, I've made a lot of music, been drawing a lot, writing a lot, mostly to keep the voice in my head at bay, so he can't criticize me for not doing anything. Uh, so I watched through my two previous episodes to make sure uh, I'm doing everything I can to make this as good a piece as possible. And what I noticed was I missed something in the cat's face, and I'll also need to make some adjustments to the shape of the eye, because if you look when I do the opacity, the eyes don't quite have the same feel to them as the sketch. They're looking slightly less angry, which I wanted to look angry because the voice in my head is angry. So what I'll have to do, this is going to be a bit of a bigger change, because the shape that needs to be changed is in fact the same shape as in the human face here. So first of all, what I wanted to correct was this line here. It feels too abrupt here. It's like there's a corner. So what I want to do is try and round it out a bit, possibly even more than that. That looks about right. Maybe even more. Yeah, that looks good. So right about here, right about here, and then there and there. That should do it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So what we'll have to do is adjust this line once we've adjusted it on the cat, so that the cat is right before the human edge here is right. So let's go into opacity mode and try and track down where it is off. So what I see straight away is that this line should... Hold on. Oh, I need to be in full opacity to get the right color. That's why I was painting in the wrong color, I think in the first episode, because I used the color picker as I was in half opacity. So yeah, that should go down a bit more. I'm gonna zoom in because this is pretty close work. And oops, I did not mean to do that. I'm not even sure what tool I was using there. Oh, using the wrong opacity again. So right about there should be good. I think that will look better. So let's try and copy this. And it doesn't matter that I get the human side as well, because it should be symmetrical. And flipping it horizontally and putting it into place. Yeah, that looks much more like the original picture, even though I sort of want the eyes to stretch down a bit more, but I'm worried that in Hexels it might be too far down. So if I would do this, I think it would... Actually, it's not bad. What I could do is change the shape a bit. That might look good. That almost looks like thorns or sharp teeth, which is cool because he isn't showing his teeth, or she, depending on how you interpret the picture. I might keep that. It's not the same feeling as in the sketch, but it definitely works in Hexels. It made it look very, very cool, actually. I like it. The other thing I needed to correct is, as you see, the eyes have lines around them, or borders, and the nose should be darker than what's around. So what I will do is make some changes to the palette, and oh, sorry about that. I'm trying not to move around the picture too much so that you don't get nauseous, because I don't really think in those terms when I'm drawing myself. I just try to be as efficient as possible. But in this series, I want to practice to make my art accessible to others as well. And in doing so, I need to learn how to navigate the art without shaking the picture too much. Don't rock the boat, man! Don't rock the boat! So, I'm choosing some new colors here. Yeah, this looks good. And this one I don't think we'll need. I really love the geometric shapes that come out of this program. Seeing how the shapes like triangles and hexagons and cubes and squares, how everything comes together, it's very... Oh, I didn't mean to change that. I was changing the grid width, but that would throw everything off. So now to fill out the edge here. Actually, the outline could be in the darker color, because these lines come together to the nose, or at the nose. So having the outlines of his mouth and the sides of his face will bring the piece together, I think, at least when it comes to the cat. Alright, I'm working on both sides when I could just work on one side. I keep forgetting that. It's something I noticed in Minecraft too. I've been working with working on some symmetrical projects. I've I'm a huge fan of symmetry, but it needs to be used moderately. It shouldn't be the only thing you're striving for in art, because if you're only going for symmetry, then art can look static. And in this particular piece, I think the symmetry helps because I need it to look like any human being, so he needs to be relaxed and composed. And there I think symmetry helps. I might actually add to the effect by making the cat's eyes slightly asymmetrical. Interesting idea that I would not have thought of hadn't I been thinking out loud. So thank you very much for watching. Because if you weren't, or if I wasn't doing this for you, I might not have gotten that idea. So I am babbling too much and working too little. Here we go. So I need to make sure I'm using the right color. Yeah, I am. So let's draw the outline of the nose. And of the white area of the cat's mouth. There. I think I found the right line here. Let's see how it looks in comparison. Oh, that needs to go up like that. Okay, so move that. Add some more there. Let's go even closer. And that should do it. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. I want the eyes of the cat to have an outline around the color of the actual border here, because it will add to the depth of the eye. So that looks about right. And in the sketch, I have tiny lines coming out from the eye to indicate some sort of depth there. But here I think I will just fill it in like this. This orange needs to be slightly more vivid, I feel. Yeah, that looks better. And then let's fill out the nose too. That should be about right. Then that actually gave a little indication that there might be whiskers coming out from here. Actually, I could give him whiskers, but those need to be wider than this. So maybe it could have straight whiskers. I need a straight line, because I need to make it so that the whiskers aren't visible behind the human face. Could do something like this. I am not sure if that is too much. That might be too much. Maybe if I... maybe something like this. No, I'll have to think about those whiskers. As it is now, I think it looks better like this. Anything else I was thinking about? I think the mouth could be brighter, not quite that bright. Bit brighter. Yeah, I need to copy this. Why am I making it difficult for me? Start where you know the middle is, rather than where you think it is. And there. Now all I need to do is I'm gonna save the progress so far. I'm gonna choose this line because we changed it a bit. So I can choose this entire line and only this line. And if you're wondering how I'm doing it, I'm pressing Shift to add more to the selection, which is usually the case in image editing programs. So that is the shape I need, and I'll bring it down to the human face, and I'll put it in slightly above so that the line or the gap between the eyebrow and the edge of his face is a bit wider. I think that will look better. And when I first started using Hexels, this tool was confusing me because rather than in Paint or Photoshop, which I've been using before, rather than having the tip of the paint coming out of the fill tool, is actually the little round holder for the handle. Oh, hold on, I'm using the wrong color, aren't I? Yeah, I am. Oh, that's annoying. I can't quite see where I've painted it wrong. Yeah, anyway, so in the fill tool, it's the handle holder, which is the actual marker, which made it a bit tricky to learn using it. But I've gotten used to it now, so if they changed it now, I wouldn't know. I'd be confused again. I'm pretty happy with that. Looks about right. So let's copy this area. And paste it in. Right about there. Yeah, that looks nice. It's a bit more uniform now, and a lot more like I originally wanted it to be. Making some progress. It's a bit slow. It's been a bit slow in this episode, but I'd say we're progressing quite nicely. I might actually record another episode straight away, so expect more soon. Take care, stay tuned, and I'll see you soon. Cubeloon out.